in the next 5 years, not 2 or 3 years, in 5 years' time, what percentage of the two-wheeler market will be electric vehicles, electrically driven? Can you hazard a guess?
Okay, well, instead of only sticking my neck out, I can take support of the reports by expert research agencies who have been looking at the sector here and globally, looking at the movements. And I think what is projected is that over the next, let's say over the next 10 years, per the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, about 70% of India's three-wheelers will be electric. And it would be as high as 50% over the next 5 years. And interestingly, this year itself, 25% of the three-wheelers in the country are electric, driven by this whole e-rickshaw movement, where electric three-wheelers are dominating the last mile connectivity. So already we are seeing 25% electric three-wheeler penetration. Coming to two-wheelers, which is sort of the largest segment in India, India is the world's second largest two-wheeler market. And here this year we have just crossed 1.5%. So we're at about 1.5 to 2% of the total two-wheelers being electric. And it is expected that over the next 10 years, about 40% two-wheelers will go electric, which is a very large number. And I think over the next 5 years, it will be around 15 to 20%. Again, in a market where we are selling about 2.5 crore two-wheelers, we're looking at very large volumes. And I believe that this could even be faster because especially for scooters, which are used by people for intra-city, again, urban movement, I don't see any reason why 5 years down the line, anybody would buy a non-electric scooter. It will just be so much cheaper to buy electric scooter and there will be no fuel cost. And the ecosystem is now evolving rapidly that it would make all the economic sense for consumers to go electric. So I'm very bullish, and I think this is driven by economics, no longer just by rhetoric. People are going to save money and they're going to be able to use these vehicles. There'll be many more models available. And the ecosystem for charging, battery swapping is also evolving along with now the whole, I would say, policy framework. So I think overall it's going to be easier for people to adopt this. And in India, I always say, "Jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai." So as more people buy EVs, it will lead to more people buying EVs. There'll be positive word of mouth. And they always say that in India, people talk about only three things when they meet. Yeah. It's either films, or cricket, or automobiles. So when the word of mouth builds, when one person gives a favorable report about his EV experience to another 10 group of 10 friends, it will lead to more adoption. So I think it will drive itself through positive word of mouth, positive experience, and better economics for the consumers.
There was one stumbling block earlier, Sulajja, which was the price point, the price of the electric vehicle. How much of that problem is gone now? Because, we keep hearing about various price points. Earlier, we heard that there will be an e-bike or e-scooter being launched at just under 1 lakh rupees, and that created some excitement. But do you think when the new crop of launches come, like the electric Luna later this year from your stable, do you think the price point would have come down very significantly so that that is no longer an issue? You're competitive against the traditional two-wheelers already.
Right, so this is a very interesting question because the market's evolving in very interesting ways. Let's see that after BS6 has come, the price of the traditional, let's say scooter, just to take an example, within moped, scooter, and motorcycles, scooters has gone up to around 85 to 90,000. So one can buy a popular scooter used by the whole family for around 90,000 rupees now, which used to be around 75,000, just 2 years ago. Further, fuel prices have gone up, so people are now spending more than 100 rupees a day to run that scooter. Now come to the world of electric. What has happened is that in electric, two I would say important trends have emerged. One is that there is this whole category of mid-speed scooters. That means scooters with the speeds of 45 to 55. And then there is the high-speed scooters, the scooters with speeds of 75 to 85. So for smaller towns, like let's say a Bhimavaram or a Aurangabad, or a Vellore, the tier 2 and tier 3 towns, people are quite happy using vehicles of 45 to 55 speeds because people don't move at much higher speeds. The distances are shorter. There are no flyovers. And these 45 to 55 scooters, speed scooters, are very affordable. They are available at between 60 to 75,000 rupees with a lithium-ion battery in it. So you're spending less to buy the scooter and you're spending almost nothing to run it. Now come to the high-speed scooters, which you need in big cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad and Pune and so on and so forth. where people have to move at higher speeds and there are flyovers, etc. These are available around 1 lakh to 1,10,000 electric scooters. So you're paying just a small premium upfront compared to 90,000 scooter, but then you're saving on the fuel cost. So the TCO is still very attractive. So it's now beginning to sink into customers that we are not paying much more for electric vehicles. This is also supported by the government's FAME 2 scheme subsidy, where almost a large part of the battery cost is currently subsidized, which is enabling this. So for the next 2 years, I think the economics will drive with the help of the subsidy. And we are all hoping that after 2 years, battery prices will have come down. Because of mass production, the cost of components in India would have come down. And further, new ideas like battery leasing, battery financing, battery swapping will make it affordable for people to continue buying electric scooters even when the subsidies go away. So I think that the price parity equation has arrived. And once people experience it, I think it will be something that will be accepted, not only in the pre-subsidy, but even the post-subsidy world. So I think price is no longer going to be an issue again for the light mobility. It's going to be an issue for some time for the cars and the larger vehicles.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think that the growth in the short run will be in the light mobility sector in two-wheelers and three-wheelers.